Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today, we're going to talk about 10 tips that you can use to immediately improve your design portfolio. So obviously your portfolio, the goal is to attract clients and portray and present you as the expert in design industry, whether it's branding, whether it's layout design, web design, what it is that you do. So we're going to talk about those 10 things that you can do immediately. Some of these are quicker to do or quick to do. Some of these are take a little bit more focused time, and maybe you have to create something to improve it. But I'll get to that during or in each of those tips. Some of these are also good for beginners, and for more advanced people, they might be pretty obvious, but since I know we have people from beginner, intermediate, and advanced level in this group, so we're going to cover everybody's everybody's needs with these. So before we get to it, I just want to do a quick housekeeping item here. So you don't want to miss any of these trainings, any of the golden nuggets that are dropping in this group. So there's a 3-dot menu here at the top of where you have like the tabs for this group. Go to this 3-dot menu. You'll get a little drop down, click manage notifications, and have a notification settings turned on for all posts. So that means that every time a new training or a new template or new something that'll help you move the needle will drop in this group, you will be notified. So go do that to make sure that you're not going to miss anything that happens in this group. Okay, so let's get to it. So this is the first tip. First of all, this is important, and if you are more advanced, you already know this, but please have a portfolio online. There was a time when you could send a PDF, or you could put images into a Google Drive folder or something, or you could send some images with email. That time has passed. Now you have to have a portfolio online. If you're not online, it's going to be very difficult to attract clients, and it's going to be very difficult to convince them that you are an expert and professional. And remember that majority of the web traffic worldwide these days happens on mobile devices. So make sure that whatever portfolio you build online will be responsive, meaning that it will work well on any device that your potential clients may use. So here are some suggestions. If you're more advanced, you can go build a WordPress portfolio site. You can have a Squarespace. My personal design portfolio is in Squarespace. My business website is in WordPress for the reason that I have a pretty big blog in there, and WordPress is the original, or probably maybe one of the best, maybe not the original, I'm sure something existed before that, but it is one of the best blog platforms, so I wanted to take advantage of that. But for my design portfolio, I wanted Squarespace because I wanted something simple. There are some pros and cons, mainly prices and technical stuff. There's also Wix, which is pretty clean, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get type of interface. I've used it a long time ago, haven't used it recently. And then there's a new player in the game called Showit. And it is mainly, the templates are best for photographers and stuff, but I think if you're good at customizing things, you can build a pretty beautiful portfolio website with that too. Showit is probably the most expensive of these, just a heads up for those who want to check it out. There are also portfolio platforms that are specifically meant for creating portfolio, for example, Adobe Portfolio, Dribbble, and Behance. And I believe actually Behance is owned by Adobe, so Adobe probably has these two products, or they might be somehow connected. Just a word of warning, if you go on those platforms, they are full of competition, and mainly, there's skill levels from end to end. There are some that are very beginner, but there is a lot of very good expertise, professional designers there. I don't mean to intimidate you, but you just need to know what you're getting into if you're going to go to one of those websites. I believe in Dribbble, you might need an invitation. It used to be invitation based. And Behance, I think it costs something. Probably Adobe Portfolio as well costs something. You can probably get beginner thing, like with few projects or something, and then you have to pay to get it more advanced. If you don't have any tech skills, if you don't want to invest anything, if you don't want to join a portfolio platform, there's a third way, which is more unusual, but if you do it well, you could do it, is to actually use social media to showcase your portfolio. You could open up an Instagram account that is only dedicated showing your work. Now, if you do this, I would say that especially in the beginning, don't mix it with your pictures of your kid or pictures of your dog. Just put your work in there and captions that are appropriate. Same with Pinterest. But remember, with Pinterest, anyone can share your stuff. It could be good, it could be bad. And Facebook page could also be dedicated to host pictures of your work and just to showcase your portfolio. So you could definitely do that. So there are ways, if you get creative, to have portfolio online without buying into a platform of any kind. Okay, so add more than one image of each project. And what I mean by this is that when your potential clients are going to find your portfolio online, or you're going to send them a link or whatever, and they're going to go see that, oh, what has this person done? Be proud of your work. Don't just add one image per project. Try to add a couple. Usually the projects that we work on have different steps, stages. If you do social media posts, you may have 3 or 4 different posts in that series. Even if it's just one post, you can just, first of all, show the post. You could add one image where that post is shown in context. Let's say that you designed someone's Instagram posts or a post for Instagram. You could put that one post, then you could show that post in the Instagram feed. What does it look like in the actual context where it would be viewed at? And you could even show some exploration if you did some sketches or different variations or versions of this. So it's always interesting to see more than one rendering of that project that you've done. And quite often, like I said, it's not just one thing. If it's a book design, you could add multiple layouts of it. If it is branding, there's multiple different things, fonts, logos, all these things. So add them all in there, not just one image. Always organize your projects. So we're on tip 3, always organize your projects so that your best project is first. So typically in a good portfolio, we have 6 to 9 high quality projects. If you're just a beginner, like up to 3, like 3 is good. You can start with 3. Of course, if you haven't done more than one, have one. But I would say then I'll get to it later here. There's another tip for how to get more projects in your portfolio, but always organize these projects. You usually have this thumbnail page somehow where the collection or thumbnails of all the projects. Make sure that your best project is the first one. That is the one that will attract people's attention. So you want to showcase your best one first. And then this is for those who have more projects in their portfolio. We have a tendency to fill our portfolio with a lot of stuff. Don't do that. Remove all the lesser projects. Like, if you're just beginning and starting out now, in future, you're going to have more and more projects. In year or 2 or 3, take out the beginner project. Take out the project that you did in the beginning. Your portfolio should always showcase just your best work. So remove any of the filler projects, and also remove the type of projects that you don't want. Because when clients look at your portfolio, they are going to hire you to do the kind of work that they see in your portfolio. Let's say you want to do web design, but your portfolio is both web design and branding or social media posts or something like that. If you have those social media things there, people will hire you to do that. Take it out. If that's not the kind of work you want, take it out and only fill it with things that you actually want to work on. This is actually really, really, really important. Tip number 5, add the kind of work that you love doing. So we talked about have your best work, remove all the filler, kind of the lesser filler project. And now we'll talk about adding the kind of work you love doing. So I said that if you love doing websites, remove all the social media posts, remove all the branding, and just leave the websites. Well, what if you only have like 2 or 3 websites? Well, the great thing about design is you don't always need to have a client. you can add conceptual, we call this conceptual projects, because you didn't do them for actual client, you did them as sort of practice projects. If the quality is high, if your design skills are good, you can design whatever you want and put it in your portfolio. Just make a comment somewhere in the caption saying that this was a conceptual project, and these were you can still add details of what was the problem that you were solving. We'll get to that. I have a different tip for that. But fill your project with the type of work you love doing, because that is the type of work you will get. And add those projects, create more of the projects on your free time, whatever is do, we call this portfolio building. Build your portfolio with the kind of designs that you love. It doesn't matter if you had a client. Of course, if you did, having a real client behind it really is important if you want to showcase your client coaching abilities, your leadership abilities, and things like that. But even without having an actual client behind there, you can still showcase your design skills. And especially for these beginner intermediate, that is the most important thing. To be honest, your design skills should be high on any level, but the leadership, coaching your clients to make better decisions, all that stuff comes more towards the advanced skill sets. Add projects. So tip 6, add project descriptions to your projects. So when you put projects in your portfolio, obviously the imagery has to be high quality. Some of it will be screenshots of the work you've done. Some of it will be some, you showcasing that work in context. But whatever it is, always add some descriptions. Add a little caption on the side of what it is that you did. And here are some thoughts at what you could put. First, what the project was about. This was a web design project for X, Y, and Z. And if you didn't have a real client behind there, you can say it was for a pet shop. This was a conceptual web design project I did for a yoga studio, things like that. And by the way, I want to add quickly to the, adding the type of work you love. If you do web design and you have a focus in mind, like I want to do web design for wellness, then that should be your focus in your conceptual projects, okay? So add what the project was about, add who it was for, add what was your role and what did you do? Because sometimes it's not clear for the people. Did you, if we talk about web design, did you actually also develop this website? Did you just design it, or did you also build it? Or if you did social media, did you just design these, or did you also write the copy? Did you do some marketing strategy? Like, you have to add all the things you did, and ideally that will give a little bit better idea for your potential clients what you're able to do. Sometimes it's also good to highlight if there were other roles in the team, like I worked with a copywriter to do this and that. That can highlight the fact that you're good with teams and working with other people. If you have access to any success metrics about your work, so for example, let's say that you designed a social media post and you just got feedback from your client that, hey, this is an amazing post, I got 1,500 likes in 48 hours. Add it there. Anything, if you work with an actual client and you have any success metrics, those are always good. Whatever it is that you designed, what did it achieve for your clients? Let's say that you redid their branding. I redid this in this, small business owner or company's branding, and within 6 months, they got so many, more clients or more revenue, or their website got so much more traffic, whatever it is that you can add. If you can add those are always solid gold. And of course, add any problems you solve along the way to create success. So if there was you had to do some creating problem solving, like your client wanted a certain kind of website, but the platform that they had only can accommodate this. So you designed those restrictions, and these are the way that you solve that problem. Or this client had, the client of yours had their old branding was tailored for business or B2B, but the client wanted to be now from B2C, and their new customer segment is this and that. And how did you solve that problem? Like, when you highlight the problem during that process, how did you solve it? And if there was something unexpected that happened, how did you solve for that? These don't have to be lengthy explanations. People don't necessarily want to read really like a Bible of stuff. They just want to know that what was the challenge there and how did you solve it? Because that speaks to your leadership and your creative problem solving. And again, this fifth tip is towards more of the advanced, more of the people who are really ready to go after bigger projects and high ticket customers, because usually from those people and those designers, we expect much more of this leadership quality. Okay. Tip 7, add info about you. So while it is all about showcasing your portfolio, excuse me, you also want to have some kind of page that has a little bit info about you. It can have your educational background, what it is that you like to focus on, what is like your design focus and things like that. It can have links to your resume. It can have links to, if you have a LinkedIn profile, things like that. And you don't always have to have a photo of yourself, but if you feel comfortable doing that, it might be nice to have a photo of yourself. People like to see the people that they work with, and they like to know the background. Again, if you have educational background, you have your professional expertise. This doesn't have to be very long either. It could be just like a short 3 to 4 lines of text and link to something. You could also have, if you wanted to provide a downloadable, some kind of a work, like a mini portfolio or some kind of downloadable thing, you could have it here. Now, again, towards more of the advanced designers, those who are really looking to go after bigger projects, high ticket customers or high ticket clients, depending on the type of clients you're looking for, you might want to add a blog to showcase your thinking and process. The more expensive projects, so to speak, the bigger projects, the more higher ticket projects, the more high ticket clients you are going to go after, they want to be able to see how you lead these projects, because they are potentially going to pay you a lot of money to create a lot of things, potentially draft strategies, and they want to see how you think. Are you able to repeat what you did for someone else? And showcasing the thinking through a blog might be great. And a little bit of your process, how do you work? So essentially, the more clients are willing to pay for your services, the more they also want proof that you can do it. And suddenly now, just seeing pictures of your work might not be enough, but they also want to see that you have some of these abilities and skills that don't have to do with just drafting designs and sketching and things like that. It has to do with being able to manage this entire process and leading their business towards success. So that's something to think about. Tip 8, help them contact you. So this might feel like pretty self-explanatory, but you would be surprised how often I bump into websites. It could be a regular website or sometimes portfolio websites, and it's really difficult to find the contact information. So you want to make it as easy as possible for your potential clients to contact you. Now, you want to also think about, do you want to put your phone number there? Do you want to put your email there? If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you could direct them to your LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a messaging capability. You could have a form that they fill. Although I personally always feel, especially if it's just like a designer's portfolio, that if they have a form, it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. Like if there's like a layer between me and this person, I would personally feel much more comfortable if there was like an email address that I could directly reach out to. If you don't feel comfortable putting your email address out there, you could start a completely new email, like mailbox, just for this purpose, that you only use for having it on your portfolio website, and then you have your personal email for other purposes. Okay. But in any ways, you have to make it very easy for your potential clients to be in contact with you. If they want to talk to you, they want to interview you, they want to start the process with you. Tip number 5. So we talked about before that the pictures, the photos of your work have to be really good. Now, this tip focuses on that. So use mock-ups for framing your images. If you have designed a website, put it in a little kind of a image where it looks like it's on a laptop. It could be on a phone if it was a responsive thing. It's a phone app. Good. Here you can see it's t-shirts, book covers, anything. So these here on the left, these kind of device mock-ups at the bottom, as well as these in the white background, these are all in Canva. So if you have a Canva subscription, if you have the professional version of Canva, I think these ones with that look more like a drawn, like an icon type of thing, even that is better than nothing. I think these probably come with the free subscription of Canva, but the ones at the white background here that look like an actual live context where, for example, website would live, a greeting card or invitation, someone looking at something on a smartphone, book cover and t-shirt, and they have more. Those you have to have a pro subscription for. But I've used it a couple of times and it works pretty well. I'm pretty surprised and happy that Canva has added this. So definitely go check it out if you have a pro subscription, and things look much nicer when they are in context. It gives people an idea of the scale, how big certain elements in this layout were meant to be. Now, these two images of book covers here, just threw them in there. They are in a service called Place It, and Place It has like 1 million different mock-ups. You have t-shirts, mugs, if you do like product, like a, design for products. I mean, like if you design like packaging, that's the word I was looking for. Look, if you design packaging, they have stuff like that. You just sign in and you literally just drag and drop the design here, and it kind of wraps it into that, for example, that book cover. They also have like digital devices, all this stuff. So those are like low cost options for you to get access to these mock-ups. There's also examples of professionally created mock-ups, and these are, again, maybe a little bit more advanced for more advanced designers, just because typically you are going to need Photoshop for using these. So these are all examples that I've grabbed here online. These are from Creative Market. So usually a template or mock-up template set like this would come with a few different, it could be anything between 4 to 8 different, images that you can drop your designs into, and they cost anything between $20 to $50. I have a few and I've used those, and I use them on my portfolio as well. They are very convenient. They make everything look beautiful. As soon as you drop your designs here, you immediately look more professional, more polished. Your designs are going to look better for whatever reason. And it's nice to see it in context, again, for the scale and sizing and how was this meant to be on an actual device. The top here, I also use these for my own work, which are actually like mood board mock-ups. So if you do branding, it might be fun to do for your clients, these little mood boards. So actually, if you would buy this template, these images are empty. And then you just drop, you drop the color, you drop these patterns, you drop the images, and it looks like you had a mood board on the wall. And it's kind of fun and nice. And again, gives a really beautiful touch to your portfolio. Okay, so these are ways it's something you have to invest in a little bit. And especially these ones from Creative Market, you have to invest in them, and you have to quite often you have to have Adobe software and know how to use it. But the end result is beautiful. And then the tip number 10, don't reveal your prices. And there's a caveat to this. So let's talk about first why I don't want you to reveal your prices. So I don't want you to, if you do hourly work, or if you do piecework contract, my advice to you is don't put your hourly rates on your website, and don't put you could, I guess piecework contract is more difficult to even reveal because it really depends on the project that you're working on, what is part of that contract. The reason I'm saying this is that you want to have the flexibility to be able to determine the pricing based on the project that is being offered, based on the client, whether you want to work with them or not. And then if you if you even give them your hourly pricing, but you want to do actually piecework contract, which means piecework means that, let's say that someone gives me $5,000 and I design their website and I develop it. It doesn't matter how many hours it takes, they'll pay me 5,000, I'll do it. Then it's up to our agreement or the contract to say, like, I need to get it done in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever. But that gives me flexibility of determining that price and calculating how much do I want to make money. Let's say that I'm not great with fractions or math, so let's just do like even numbers. Let's say it takes me 100 hours to develop that website, design and develop that website, and they're paying me 5,000. That means I will make $50 an hour. But let's say that I can work faster and I can get it done in 50 hours. Now suddenly my hourly wage or my hourly rate will be 100 hours, but they don't need to know that. All they need to know is if they're willing to pay me 5,000, I'll do it. And that gives you flexibility of maybe sometimes there will be a project coming your way that you can calculate kind of how long is it going to take me, how willing am I going to, how much do I want this project? How willing am I going to work? How willing I am to work with this specific client? And you can have those impact your pricing. But if you have your rates there, you don't really have a negotiation point. You are tied to those rates. That's my advice always. Don't, or maybe you have a nonprofit approach you and you're willing to work for them, with more affordable rates. So you have that flexibility. Now that the only difference is, I would say, if you do packages, if you do day rates or products. So day rates are, similar to hourly, except that usually it's just pay me $500 for the day and I'll do whatever I have time to do within that day. Whereas hourly rates are like, okay, I'm going to design a book for you and my hourly rate is 50, and at the end of the project, we'll see how many hours I used. So you are, with the hourly rates, you're kind of still committed to getting something done. Whereas with the day rate, it might be that, well, I didn't get the book done in one day, so too bad, you're going to have to hire me for a next day. So there's less of a risk with the day rate. The packages are kind of like package deals come with, like, if you want to attract, you know that you are pretty fast at working. So even the package price, you have to calculate very carefully to make sure that you will still make profit. But let's say that you would have a $5,000 website package, and it always usually comes with same things. Like it always comes with 5 pages, about page, home page, contact page, and a block or something like that, or product page or whatever. So packages, you want to tailor very carefully to make sure that it is in the areas that you are confident and comfortable working on quickly, and you make profit no matter what. And the package price is then okay to be shown there. And then of course, products. If you sell design templates, design courses, anything like that, you could have those prices out there because it's a product that anyone can buy, especially if it's sort of a lower end product. I sell templates with $27 and $37, but I also sell programs that are high ticket. And those prices, of course, are not there because the selling, like, they're not even, those programs are not even on my website. So now think of it this way. What would someone be willing to buy from a website with very quick, sort of, when you talk about products, with very quick, decision? But again, hourly rates, piecework contract, I would not advertise the pricing. Packages, day rates, products, different thing. Okay, so that was tip number 10. Now there's a bonus tip. So this is, again, for those who are more advanced and want to go after significantly bigger projects, significantly higher stakes, high ticket pricing, all that good stuff, leadership position in the project. We'd already talked about this when you want to add some project description, but now we're talking about highlighting your process with your portfolio. So if you have a larger portfolio, these are almost like case studies. Sometimes you see in someone's portfolio, they have case studies. So this is something similar. So you want to have like, obviously the designs that you created, but you want to also show what was the starting point, what kind of sketches did you create? Did you use like mind maps to do some like ideation, some iterations that you created to the designs along the way could be there. You could highlight who the target audience was. You could add a problem statement. Again, some of the stuff we talked about earlier, challenges you overcame, final results, the team that you worked as a part of, roles that were in the project, and any success metrics. And then document that in almost like a process through, this is where I started from, this is what happened then, like, you know, so almost that someone can see it in a timeline, how this entire process folded out. You still, when you do this, you always want to start with the final result. So you put the best picture of the project first, and then you go into the details, okay? But when we talk about going after those leadership positions and really like expensive, well-paying projects, this is the information you want to give. And you could go deeper than that, what I've listed here, because it really depends on what type of project. There are special challenges for branding. There are special or specific challenges for layout design. There are specific challenges for marketing designs. And when you are at that advanced level doing this, you know what those challenges are. You can spell those out here and how you accommodated the success and overcame those challenges and took into account all those things that you have to in that very specific focus area. But suddenly, when we're at this level, it's not enough to show the pretty outcome. The pretty outcome is the implementation of everything else that you did during that project. And when we talk about big, high-ticket projects, that is just the surface. There is a massive amount of work below that you wanna be able to showcase. Okay, so that was the last tip. That was, it says 10 out of 10, but that was actually the bonus tip. That was the 11th, essentially. Now, if you have any questions, you can post here in the comments. I will jump on and try to answer any of your concerns or comments, any thoughts that you might have. If you go to dailycreative.io, this is my business website. It's not my portfolio. You can find my portfolio if you go to the About section, because I use my portfolio to attract different clients that I use this website for, you know, so I have two different web entities, so to speak. But if you go to dailycreative.io, there is this free resources section here. So I know there's a lot of people here in this group who want to improve their own branding and also do branding for clients. So go to the free resources. There's a lot of stuff that you can get from there for free, for essentially resources for branding. So go check it out. Definitely good stuff in there. Okay, again, if you have any questions, post here. I hope this was helpful for you. And yeah, so we'll talk later and have a great rest of the day. Okay, bye.